Mahabharata, Chapter 16. The story of the jackal, tiger, wolf, mongoose, and the mouse. Yudhishthira was the eldest of the Pandavas and Kauravas. He was the son of Lord Dharma. Thus, he exhibited great qualities like firmness, fortitude, patience, benevolence, frankness, and unswerving honesty. Owing to his high morality and being the eldest of the princes, Yudhishthira was made the heir to the throne. That is, Yudhishthira was made the future king by Dhiridharashtra. The Pandavas excelled in everything. Yudhishthira was loved by the people of Hastinapura. Bhima received higher education from Sankarshana. He became expert in the use of the mace. Arjuna, as we all know, became skillful in the use of the bow and arrow. It is noteworthy to mention that archery isn't just about taking similar looking arrows and shooting at a target. The arrows, like golf clubs, were of different proportions, different weight and shape as well. Some were crooked, some were straight, some were heavy at the tip, some were bendable. Arjuna gained proficiency in the use of all these forms and could do it with precision while traveling in a chariot and hit moving targets. Sahadeva, the fourth of the Pandavas, learned the science of morality and duties from Brahaspati, the spiritual chief of celestials. Nakula, the fifth brother, became second to none in sword fights. Thus, the five Pandavas together were invincible. The entire kingdom of Hastinapura was pleased and happy in having these brothers to protect them. Dhuriyodhana was jealous of the Pandavas since birth. Circumstances only gave him more reason. They continued to achieve more and gain popularity. They had now defeated Drupada. Yudhishthira was made the heir to the throne. Bhima learned new things, and Arjuna was simply too good at what he did. Dhuriyodhana started voicing his concerns to his blind father, Dhiridharashtra. Father, the Pandavas are becoming very powerful. The people love them. No one respects us, the Kauravas. Don't you remember how we were raised? We owned the kingdom. We owned Hastinapura when the Pandavas were living like beggars in the forest. Now it is us who have been downgraded. We can't let this continue. If we do, we'll soon be driven out of our own land. Duryodhana had this conversation with his father over and over again. Initially, Dhiridharashtra was supportive of the Pandavas. He used to defend them, saying they are good-hearted and wouldn't do any harm to the Kauravas. However, Duryodhana's repeated bickering and complaints started sowing seeds of doubt in Dhritarashtra's mind. He started asking himself if his race, the Kauravas, were in danger. He called for his minister, Kanika, and sought his advice. Kanika, summoned by Dhiridharashtra, addressed him and said, O mighty king, a king must always be watchful and ready to strike. A king must understand his enemies, even if they are his own kith and kin, and conceal his weakness from them like a tortoise conceals its body inside a shell. He should be prepared with a plan and strike when the time is right. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this point. Kanika continued telling Dhiridharashtra the story of the jackal, tiger, wolf, mongoose, and the mouse. There was a wise jackal in the jungle, and he had 4 friends, a tiger, mongoose, wolf, and a mouse. One day, they saw a deer that they wanted to kill for food. but they knew that the deer would outrun them. So the jackal suggested that they work together in killing the deer so everyone can get to eat it. At the jackal's instructions, the mouse nibbled at the deer's legs while the deer was sleeping, thereby injuring it. The next day, the tiger successfully chased down the deer, which was unable to run as fast because of its injured feet, and killed it. The jackal rejoiced and said,
"Well done, friends. Let's take a bath before enjoying this feast. Why don't the four of you go to the river while I watch over the deer?"
The four animals went to the river. The tiger came back first and saw the jackal deep in thought. He asked what was wrong, and the jackal said,
"You know what the mouse said? He said that the tiger could have never killed the deer if he hadn't chewed away at its feet. He said that it really is his hunt and that he, the mouse, rightfully owned the meal."
The tiger's pride was hurt, and he said, "He is right. From now on, I will rely only on my own strength and agility. I do not deserve this meal." And the tiger walked away. Next came the mouse, and the jackal told him,
"You know what? The mongoose thinks that the tiger's claw has poisoned the deer. He thinks that he would rather eat you instead. If I were you, I'd run and hide immediately."
The mouse was terrified and ran away in fear. Next, the wolf returned, and the jackal said to him,
"My friend, the tiger is angry with you for some reason. He has gone to bring his wife. I don't know if you want to stay here and see what happens. If I were you, I'll save myself."
The wolf was in two minds, whether to stay back for the meal and run the risk of facing an angry tiger, or walk away. In the end, the wolf hastily retreated. Lastly, the mongoose returned, and the wolf addressed him.
"Behold, I have scared away the mouse, the wolf, and even the tiger. All of them have run away because of my might with the arms. If you want to eat the deer, you have to fight me first."
Of course, the mongoose did not want to fight someone that even the tiger did not have the guts to fight, and so he too ran away. The jackal feasted on the meal all by himself. Kanika thus ended the story and said, "The policy of the jackal should be the policy of the king. A king should carry his enemies with him as long as he needs them, and then discard and kill them at the opportune moment. The Pandavas may not harm you, but do you, king, want to take that chance? What if they become too powerful? Then you won't be able to protect yourself or your children." Saying this, Kanika retreated, and Dhiridharashtra was convinced that he had to do something about the popularity of the Pandavas. The Upanishads talks about the concepts of Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas is the name given to an approach that reaps benefits in the long run, though it may seem to be losing initially. Preyas, on the other hand, will give immediate gratification but will cause harm in the long run. Let's take the story that we just heard. Taken superficially, the jackal indeed appears wise. He gets his friends to kill the deer and gets the whole deer for himself through his politics. The jackal appears admirable, and his path promises success and happiness. As Kanika puts it, if kings always act like the jackal, they can be happy. However, when we look at the story a little more deeply, we find that the jackal is not all that wise or intelligent. True, he gets the whole deer for himself, But does he need it? Except satisfying his vanity, his ego, his greed, does it serve any purpose? Can he eat the whole deer, which is probably larger than the jackal himself? Can he preserve it for the next day in the jungle? Wouldn't the meat start rotting soon and become inedible? Can he share it with his friends if not preserve it? But wait, he has no friends. It is from his friends that he has snatched the deer away. The jackal by himself is not capable of killing another deer like this. By creating suspicion against one another in the minds of his friends, the jackal has not only destroyed the team, but also sowed seeds of mistrust and darkness in the hearts of every one of them. All this so that he can have the whole deer to himself, though he can neither eat it all, nor preserve it for future, nor share it with others. This precisely is Preyas, immediate satisfaction as against long-term good. In the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira and the Pandavas constantly choose the path of Shreyas, and the Kauravas led by Dhuriyodhana choose the path of Preyas. Even today, in our world, Preyas is what is prevalent. In the larger sense, we don't think about global warming, which could destroy the earth in the next century, but continue to exploit natural resources for today's need. In our daily lives, we are constantly tempted with shortcuts. Switch jobs to get a raise, as opposed to relying on excellence. Pleasing our boss to get a promotion, as opposed to hard work and perseverance. Passing exams is the goal, as opposed to understanding the academic concepts to ensure a solid career. Preyas is tempting. Preyas is short-term. Preyas is instant gratification. Shreyas, on the other hand, is hard work. Shreyas is dharma. Shreyas is long-term, fulfilling, and will reap benefits that are everlasting.